So you have an air dragon around you. Probably you have many air dragons around you actually, because they tend to work in groups. But if you still don't believe me, here are 9 signs that you have an air dragon spirit guide. Sign number 1, you identify quite a bit with the mental realm that feels very comfortable for you. Likely you tend to think about things a lot. You might get stuck in thought loops even. You might overthink things. You like things to be logical, to make sense. And if so, the air dragons are vibing at a similar frequency as you. They are actually masters of the mental realm. They vibrate not only at the same frequency as air, but as the mental realm. So if you are in your thoughts, you're in your logic, you're in the realm of the air dragons. Sign number 2 is that you tend to be that person that has your head in the clouds. As the air dragons kind of laugh at that metaphor, at how real it actually is. You have your head in the clouds. You might be that person that tends to space out. Maybe you live in a fantasy land. You have a big imagination. You might tend to dissociate from your body. Sign number 3 is that you often see dragons in the clouds, cloud dragons, if you will. Now, all sorts of dragons can kind of put their imprint in the clouds, which is what you're seeing when you're seeing these shapes of dragons in the clouds, by the way. However, this is the most true for air dragons because that is their realm. The sky, the clouds, that is their realm. They live there. So they are more likely to reveal themselves to you in the clouds than the other sorts of elemental dragons. Also along this vein, if you smoke, if you vape, if you like to use incense, maybe even candles, if you like smoke, let's say, and then if you see, let's say, a dragon or dragons in that smoke imprint, that's a huge sign. But if you're just drawn to these sorts of things in general, very airy things, that also is a sign. Sign number 4 is that you have prominent air energy in your natal astrology. Now, if you are confused by what that means, maybe you're not that familiar with astrology, the air signs in astrology are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And now this doesn't just mean that your sun would be in one of those signs, but if you look at your natal chart in astrology, you will see that you have many of these signs in your chart. You have a lot of air energy. That is an indicator that you are, again, on the same frequency as the air dragons. And of course, this is especially true if you have air signs as your sun, moon, and or ascendant, the big 3. Sign number 5 is that you have a tendency to sort of hyper focus, to laser focus on things. You are that person, you get an obsession with something and you go deep. You learn everything that you can about that thing. You live, breathe, sleep, eat that thing for however long it takes you to fully understand that concept before moving on. Along the same vein, you just have this tendency to consume hella information in general. Maybe you're the type of person that likes to be listening, let's say, to YouTube or podcasts or audiobooks while you're doing other things in your daily life. Maybe you move through books really quickly, like you read a lot, you consume a lot. You want to fill your brain, you want to fill that mental space with lots and lots of information. And as someone that's an air dragon person, you can handle that information. You have a big capacity for that information. Sign number 6, flying. Okay, you've maybe always been drawn to the concept of flying. You've always wanted to fly. Maybe you've had a fascination with wings. You like flying in airplanes. Maybe you even learned how to fly an airplane or something like that. Maybe you've wanted to go to outer space. Maybe you've resonated with things like dragons and angels and birds and things that fly. That feels very familiar to you. Because as an air dragon person, you know you are not bound necessarily by the physics of this reality. You know that you are free as the air. Sign number 7, which may be a bit surprising for people like paying attention to some of the other signs, but You have a tendency as an air dragon person to be very playful and very childlike, because guess what? Air dragons themselves are probably the most playful and childlike of all the elemental dragons. They are a lot of fun. Their energy, in fact, is quite similar to that of fairies. So also honorable mention if you have a resonance with fairies and you like fairy energy. Sign number 8 is technology. You have a strong affinity for technology. You are really good at it, maybe. You're good at working with technology. Maybe even your job is in some sort of field that has something to do with technology. You're good at repairing technology. Maybe you're not good at those things. You're not doing it for work, but you just really like technology. You find it fascinating. You're that person that's like really obsessed with AI right now, and maybe just sci-fi in general, in the possibility for what we are technologically capable of. Finally, sign number 9. You ready for this? Gonna call you out a bit. You're a little ADHD. You are a little ADHD. Air dragons, super ADHD. Air dragons, in fact, this is what I'm getting right now, this download I'm getting, is that they work very, very closely with people that have ADHD. They love that. They love the chaos of like having all these different ideas popping in. They contribute to it. They contribute, again, they are masters of the mental realm, so they contribute to all these different ideas like coming in and you following all these different ideas. So yeah, if you got ADHD, probably a given that you've got hella air dragon energy around you. Now, bonus sign number 10 is if you're watching this video because I set the intention that it would find people who are a match to this air dragon frequency, and it's quite as simple as that. If you are resonating with this and you're like, yes, I have hella air dragons, or just you're still not sure, but you're like, yes, I want to work with the air dragons, I invite you to join me in my private community this month for Air Dragon Month, okay? Tomorrow, as of filming this, we are actually going to do a group ritual with the air dragons. So if you are someone that struggles, let's say with ADHD or overthinking, things like this, you just find in general that your thoughts have been keeping you down lately, this is not something you're gonna wanna miss, because the air dragons are coming in strong and they've made it very clear they wanna help us reprogram our thoughts so that we can reprogram our entire reality. This is really exciting, really, really cool stuff. And the more people that take part, the stronger it's gonna be. So of course, I would love to see you there. Finally, let me know in the comments how many signs you're resonating with and if you feel you have an air dragon or not. One way or the other, my friend, much love to you on your journey. Stay powerful.